Mhm. Yes, karibuni sana. Our viewers, you're welcome. You're welcome. Today we are doing some politics here. We shall be talking about the BBI. Na tunaulizana, was it fair for the court to stop the BBI process? And I'll also put the link there on the comment side. Kama unataka kuja kuchangia, utakuwa karibu sana. Asante sana kwa wale ambao wanaingia tukaweze kuongea mambo ya nchi yetu. BBI inaguzia watu wengi. BBI ilikuwa inaguzia watu wote wa Kenya because it is a constitutional change. So niko na Kevin. Kabla wengine wakuje, just introduce yourself, tuambie wewe ni nani, unafanya nini, alafu tutaweza kuendelea.
Yes, kwa majina ni Kevin Nauna Waswa. So basically I'm an insurance by profession. So I do what we call risk consultant. I'm a risk consultant on the side of insurance, but I also have some interest. I also have interest in politics.
Oh, karibu sana, karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Kevin, kulingana na maoni yako, BBI ilikuwa kitu kizuri ambayo inaweza saidia Kenya ama unaona namna gani? BBI ilikuwa inasaidia viongozi ama ilikuwa inasaidia wananchi, ama unaweza ukasema namna gani kuhusu swala nzima la the BBI process?
Asante sana Mr. Jeff. Kwa maoni yangu mimi ningesema BBI ingekuwa na manufaa makubwa sana ikiwa tungepitisha mjadala huo, lakini kwa sababu za siasa za Kenya ambazo Kenyans like to be entertained. So we had politicians who had going around fooling wananchi that this BBI is not good, this BBI is not good, it is about positions.
Yes.
But if you are informed Kenya, if you look at the document itself, so basically BBI was talking about increase of resources at the county level. Increase of resources at the county level. Remember, when you start whatever, I know some politicians have come with what we call the bottom-up economy, but this one was already on BBI. This one was already on BBI, but because of misinformation and Kenya like to be entertained, and they don't like to be informed. So I think when BBI collapsed, I think it was not a good thing.
So kulingana na vile koti ilisema ya kwamba BBI hata kama huenda ikawa kuna mambo ambayo maybe yangesaidia wananchi, wanasema ambao wale ambao wana support ama wale ambao those who were spearheading the process, they said they didn't follow the right process because the court had no problem with the BBI, the content, but they had a problem with the process which was followed. They are saying that the president and the prime minister, they cannot be the supporters, no, but the initiators of the process. So what do you think about that? Court ilifuatilia kanuni aba unaona kama court ilikosea?
I'll give it a yes or no. First of all, you have to understand that the president is a symbol of national unity.
Yes.
So basically, what we undergone the previous year, the last 5 years. The economy was not stable. We are always in riot, and when the opposition leader, that is the right honorable Raila Odinga, and our beloved president, that is Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, decided to shake hands, we saw some calm in the country. And one way, because they wanted to look for what you call a long-term solution.
Yes.
A long-term solution is that they wanted to bring Kenya together. And as any other Kenyans, you yourself included, you don't mind whatever means they are using, so long as there's unity, so long as there's stability in the country, and the constitution has not been compromised in any way. I think it was what the president did was good, but to some extent, because it did not involve all the stakeholders.
Yes.
I think I can also say the courts were also they also had their own what do you say their own right just also to do what they did.
So you agree with me that one of the problem why the BBI did not go through is because the president failed to involve all the stakeholders.
Yes.
Yeah, just try to set your system properly. So
just
Kevin,
a minute. Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm lost. Just a minute, kindly.
That's fine. That's fine. You can connect that. Thank you so much, Glorified Mama Junior. I can see you there. And today we are discussing the topic on the BBI. And I can see Kevin again. Okay, let me put the other one here. Yeah, Kevin, you're back now.
Yes.
Kevin, so we agree that the maybe the president failed somewhere kwa sababu he was not in a position to involve all the stakeholders. Maybe hapo ndipo shida iliingilia.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, properly.
I think because the president failed to involve all the stakeholders, now BBI was taken as a vehicle for just two individuals. That is the Honorable Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, because there was no public participation. Yes. But the document itself, the document was itself basically, if you read through the document, it advocated for 1 man, 1 shilling, meaning more resources were to be pushed to the county level. Yes, the only problem we had with the BBI is that the due process was not followed. That is the only problem. The document
and just a minute. My brother, can I call you shortly because I'm in the studio, please? Yes, please. Thank you. So there are those people who are saying that why they are rejecting, or they were rejecting BBI passionately, is because there was hidden agenda, not what the politicians or the proponents of BBI were telling people, but they had the hidden agenda. There are those who are saying that the president wanted to proceed or to continue with his rule or the leadership through the BBI. Maybe he wanted to be appointed or be elected as a prime minister, and Raila Odinga becoming the president, ceremonial president, and with the executive prime minister, whom people are saying it was Uhuru Kenyatta who wanted to become the prime minister. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why many people were saying, no, we don't want him to continue. What is your take? Do you think that was the right position?
I think the proponent or the those people who opposed. Okay.
Kevin, you can welcome Beatrice and tell her how to put the phone.
From my end, just a minute.
Yeah, your phone is fine, Kevin. Beatrice, put your phone like this. Karibu Beatrice. Habari yako Beatrice? Unatusikia? Yeah, we can continue. Ni kama Beatrice simu yake imekuwa imeleta shida kidogo. Kevin, we can proceed.
Can you just go back? What was your question, kindly?
Yes, I was saying there are those people who were rejecting BBI because they were saying there was a hidden agenda, not what the president and the prime minister were telling people, but they wanted to create those positions so that Uhuru Kenyatta can continue his rule through the back door using the BBI. That there was a possibility of Uhuru Kenyatta becoming the prime minister of Kenya after being the president for 10 years. And people were opposing to a larger extent the BBI because of that.
I think those people were saying that were like, I can just say it was cheap politics, because if you look what was in the document,
yes,
basically what was your document was the Mwananchi. For example, a good one of the best information that was on the document is that for the youth, they could have gotten a loan,
yes,
and they have they have like 7 years for them to pay. You start paying after 7 years. And you know the problem with our banks in Kenya, they give you and they charge you very high interest. So it was a document that was basically meant for the youth. The youth could have benefited greatly, but those people who did not want the BBI to go through, now they started politicizing the whole document that is about positions. There was nowhere mentioned on that document that Uhuru was going to become the prime minister or Raila was going to become the. But it was now because the BBI, the reason why the BBI came up is that after every election period, after 2 years, the country is on election mood, and you know that one is not good for the economy.
Yes.
Now, I think now because the other side, as I've told you, most Kenya do not like information; they like to be entertained. Those people who are going around to say now that BBI is about position,
yes,
it was not treated anywhere. But because they saw now this one is now a stepping stone for them to politicize their 2022 they need to state house. So they had to use that BBI. And when BBI failed in the court, you see now the Mwananchi.
Kevin, give me a minute. You will proceed. I want to move from the screen. I go and switch off my heater here. Is making a lot of noise for me. Then I'll be back. Proceed with the topic. Proceed with the topic.
Okay, thank you. Now, as I was saying, BBI contained a lot of information from Mwananchi, and the reason why it was shut down, basically, I don't understand. Because here the Mwananchi will have benefited in a great way. But what do we do? That is Kenya for you. But I don't think all is lost. I think we can still use our parliament to basically get those benefits that were on BBI through the parliament. So it's now upon the parliamentarians basically to give us the way forward, because we are in a very hard economic times. We're in a COVID period, and I think now it's about the parliamentarians to wake up and know that things are not well.
And Kevin, I want us to also continue to answer some of the questions that people are asking here. There is that question there. You can read it on your side. Are you able to see it properly?
Yes. Why were they not taking copies to people to read them? Like what they did with the Constitution back then, instead of saying that you can find it on your smartphone. Not everyone has a smartphone, and some don't have. Some even don't know even how to use a smartphone. This is Kanjoro. Is asking why the document was not printed and given to Mwananchi. I think the document was on the public domain. If you look at 75% of our population is youth, and this information was gotten was online. You could have read it. You could have read it online, and in fact, you could have downloaded it. It is cheaper to read the information online than printing. I think that one should not be an excuse why the information never got to Mwananchi.
And also, during the Kibaki era, because we changed the 2010 constitution, I am also asking myself, how is it that during the Kibaki time, the copies were printed and everybody was in a position to get a hard copy? Bearing in mind that not everybody understands this computer era. Not everybody is educated like you, Kevin. So there are so many people who do not understand what was this thing called BBI because they never had any access to the document.
You can remember during the Kibaki era, we were changing the whole constitution. But in 2021, 2021, we are only doing amendments on the constitution. We are not changing the whole constitution because we had seen now the Majimbo thing was working for us. Now we decided now to say, because now the county are working and there's resources are going to the county, why don't we increase more? Because the other constitution was saying only 15% can be allocated to the county. But now the new constitution said we need to do what we call 35% of the revenue collected to be sent to the county, in that to bring in more development at the county level. So I think the difference between the 2010 and the 2021 talking about printing, the 2010 was about changing the whole constitution, and this one 2021 was just amending.
Even if it was amendment, I listened even to Mother Karoa, and she was of the view that there were so many things that were being amended in the current constitution that it was not even supposed to be called the amendment. It was supposed to be called the overhaul, the constitutional overhaul, because they were changing so many things. And also to add on that, you have talked of the 35% of the revenue being channeled to the counties. The people who are against BBI, they are saying that we don't require the constitutional change so that more resources can be taken to the counties, that if the government has the goodwill of doing that, they can still do that, even without that being put into the constitution. And also they are saying that currently the 15% is what is meant to go to the county, but still the government is failing to a larger extent to fulfill that requirement. The money to the county governments are being delayed, and sometimes the county government are struggling to get the 15%. So those who are opposed to the BBI were saying, if you cannot afford 15%, how then can you say, or where shall you get the 35%? What do you think about that?
I think the information that says that if we cannot get the 15% or how can we get the 35%? I think the 35% is possible. Even the 15% was possible and more possible. But the problem with Kenya was that there was no political will. There was no political will to send more resources to the government. Remember, as we speak, the government holds like 75% of the revenue collected around the country. So more resources are still within the central government. And when the BBI was what it was advocating was now to put now policy in place that will say 35% is a must, meaning the president does not have power to say now that he cannot send the 35%, because now that power was not now with the president, it was now to be with the parliamentarians. So
Kevin, the same people who were supporting the BBI or the proponents of the BBI, and you are saying the 15% was not given because the politician or the people in higher positions or the government had no political power to do it. And they are the same people. The same people are the ones who are saying that they are going to give 35% because if the BBI went through and Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, and the team continue to be in leadership, if they had no political goodwill to give the 15%, what makes you think that they would give the 35% as per the constitutional requirement?
Now, remember this now.
Yes.
The BBI was to, I think it is counties, they were supposed to be increased. And also the number of parliamentarians was to go up. And once the number goes up, it means now that more resources needed to go to the county. More resources needed to go to the county. So for my opinion, I will say is that I will still maintain that there was no political will. The document for 2010 does not have a concrete way on which it can say now that because it has given all the powers are with the president. All the powers are with the president. So the president can wake up today and say, in fact, I'm not giving the 15%. I'll only do 10%. But with this 2010 BBI, it means now that the president was not going to be powerful, but now the power was to rest with the parliamentarians, meaning the parliamentarians will have more say in terms of how the revenue is allocated, because the BBI had advocated for 1 man, 1 shilling. Each country was to receive as per their population, because the 2010 constitution is a bit unfair. If you look at the 2010 constitution, it advocates in terms of geographical space. So if you look, for example, sorry to say, if you look at the county like Wajir or the northern eastern part and you compare it with Kiambu, for example, the Wajir gets around 15 billion. While Kiambu receives around 10 billion. And if you look in terms of population, Kiambu has a population almost like the same of Nairobi. That is around 3 million, 2.5 million, while Wajir is less than 1 million. So the reason, anytime you're allocating resources, you don't look at the geographical area, but you look at the Mwananchi. How is Mwananchi going to benefit? That's why there was that 1 man, 1 shilling. And I think the president looked at the way the country, the resources have been unfairly distributed, meaning the marginalized. Now the marginalized have become now the high populated. You see now, like Kiambu was being marginalized, for example, because not enough resources was being located to Kiambu.
Yes, and I think the unfairness of the constitutional amendment that was being proposed is that they wanted the citizens of Kenya to vote for the whole bill holistically, even if there are things that you disagree with, because in the BBI, like now, when you talk of the 1 man, 1 shilling, that was a good proposal of which I believe everybody or a good percentage of Kenyans were in support of that. And also there are things that people were not supporting. That is why there was another team that was proposing that instead of forcing us to vote even for the things that we don't want, you put questions for each and every amendment. If it is the 15, if it is the 35% or the 1 man, 1 shilling presentation, put it there as an amendment question. And then when I go there, I can tick what I want and leave what I don't want. Like now, there are those people who are saying, you know, we don't want this huge parliament. You know, the BBI, if it went through, the Kenyans would be having almost 600 members of parliament. And remember, the Kenyans had the problem with the huge parliament. You know, we added, actually, it's like we copy-pasted what did not suit the Kenyan in the 2010 constitution. Now, Kenyans were saying that they want
the burden to be reduced. But they were saying, instead of these people reducing the burden, they have increased the burden. Because now, remember, we have the senators, we have the governors, we have the women representative, we have the county government. And when you compare that, for example, with the United States is a huge economy with almost 400 million people. But how many governors do they have? Around 50. Kenya, with a population of 40 million, we already have 47 governors, 47 senators, 47 women representatives, 47 members of parliament. I mean, not even 47. I mean, there are so many constituencies. So they are saying, Kenyans, we are saying, punguza mzigo. But the BBI, according to the perspective of many Kenyans that I have listened to, they were saying BBI was adding the burden. It was not punguzing the mzigo. What is your take on that, Mr. Kevin? And also, before you answer that, we have Kijo here. Kijo Kajoro, want you to answer that question. We can't hear you, Kevin.
Okay. Now, Kijo Kanjoro, the question is exactly, if 15% is a problem, how now will it be possible to give that 5%? Make me understand. Now, as I've said before, the 15% has never been a problem. The problem is that we did not have a document that basically removed that power from the president. Because, you know, the president can wake up today and say that no money is being sent to the counties. Now you see now the governors start pulling with the Minister of Finance for them to allocate, to push the resources they need. But now what we wanted to remove that power from the president, so that now that power is vested now with the parliamentarians. So I think now the 15 was not a problem, but the problem was the implementers. So that implementation was just left to one person alone, and that person was the president. So the delays, most of the delays came from the executive side.
Yes.
Yes.
Now we also have Kevin. We can take another question here from James Wainaina. You can read that question loudly so that people can also hear. We have so many people listening on both sides.
Okay, I can see. Why was the government bribing MCAs? Please discuss. Now, I think that Nini was just blown out of proportion, and you know our media's outlet, the way they behave.
Yes.
This was just as Nini, an opposition state sponsored thing that says that the MCAs were bribed. And the truth of the matter is that this thing was coming to benefit the MCAs. I don't think there was an MCA who was opposing BBI. The reason is that they had the control. They were going to have the control on how the resources are allocated at their county level, and meaning they were now going to be in charge of the resources that have been allocated to their to the county. Meaning at their constituency level, they were able to know what kind of development to carry out. So it was an advantage to the MCA. Now, saying that the government was bribing the MCA, I think that is a question that was just misleading from the media outlets. And you know,
because Kevin,
yes,
the question that Kenyans were asking is, why is it that the MCAs had been there for all this time? Why is it that this is when you want them to pass the BBI is when you are giving them 2 million for the cars? Does it mean they didn't need the car the first year of like now 2013 when the Jubilee government took power? Why now? So it was kind of Kenyans had the feeling that the people who are forwarding or pushing the BBI to go through, they are doing everything possible to make it go through because they are having not just the interest of the country, but their own personal interests. Like somebody here was saying, let me show you the person who was saying that. I saw someone by the name Justice here. This is what Justice was saying. So you can combine that comment there with what you think. Why now? Why did they give the MCAs money when they wanted them to pass the BBI?
Hello, I've lost you.
You have lost me?
Hello, Jeff.
You can't hear me?
Hello, Jeff. You can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Now, the problem, the question of bribing the MCA or not bribing the MCA, or the question of the car grants. Basically, the car grants are there. If you look at the parliamentarians, it's a privilege they enjoy. So basically, the MCA, they were just asking for what there is their right. Because if the parliamentarians have been given that privilege of getting car grants and mortgages, I think it also trickle down to the MCAs, because MCAs are also representative of the people at the ground level, at the grassroots level. Yes. So it was not a question of bribing the MCA or not, but MCA wanted to use that platform just to tell the president, if you are also the representative of the people at the grassroots level, why are we not enjoying the same privilege as our brothers who sit at the parliament are enjoying? So basically, it was not about the bribe, but it was just a policy that was supposed to be passed to the MCA. Because right now, you can see now, those MCA who are going to retire in 2022, they are going to be given a pack. So basically, that package is going to cover their husband and their spouse. So meaning they are going to enjoy the same pack as the parliamentarians are enjoying. So you can't say that one is also a bribe.
Yes.
So I think they wanted to use the platform just to ask for what is theirs.
And we have here Aris Njeri saying BBI died. Do you think this thing died completely, or there is a possibility it might resurrect one day? Or
now it will depend now with the. I can't say the BBI has died for sure, but I think also if you look at the political mood from the central side of Kenya, they have realized that this BBI was going to come in handy in terms of one man, one shilling. It's now that they are realizing, even the likes of Mother Karua, this other guy from it's called where? It's called Moses Kuria.
Yes.
They have now realized that now BBI had a lot of benefit to benefit the central part of Kenya than any other part. So it's now time they are realizing that. When you say that BBI is dead, it's not dead. Because this policy, we can see now the parliamentarians, they want to push the same policy through the parliament. Yes, it died. The court said now that that document is not valid at the court level, but we still have the parliament which can still pass policies, and they can go ahead and choose what policies were better for this country and pass them. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good answer. We also have BBI died for good. That is Kijoka Kajoro. James is laughing at us and saying they say was buried in Kiaba. So that BBI was buried in Kiaba. So our viewers continue putting down your comments, your questions, and we have Kevin here, who is an intellectual and somebody who has really interacted with people in different levels and has enough information. And we're going to discuss the whole issue of BBI. And I know information is power. So Kevin, don't you think for sure, genuinely now being frank completely, don't you think that Uhuru Kenyatta had a hidden agenda, not just the matter of resource sharing? Don't you think he had a hidden agenda on this BBI, basing on how he was fighting vigorously to ensure that it goes through? And I feel like the court saw that this person is not genuine, and they decided, can we stop this guy from doing what he wants to do? Don't you think Uhuru Kenyatta was not genuine on what he was trying to do?
For sure, nobody has evidence if Uhuru was basically genuine on what he was doing or not. But basically, the main thing of BBI was building bridges initiative.
Yes.
So basically, we don't understand. Sometimes we don't like to get the meaning of the BBI.
Yes.
So BBI, some people just nicknamed it like Beba Baba Ikulu, which I think it was just a political thing. But BBI itself was basically to build the bridges, bring unity. Because the problem with this country sometimes, when a person gets into power, the other person who was an opponent basically becomes a loser. And you know, our politics is basically based on the tribal cocoons. So basically, if you lose and you are from a different tribe, you feel like now you have been left out of the government. And you can see from the first time when the Uhuru government was coming up with the cabinet, we saw a lot of cry from the opposition side that why is it that our tribe is not being included on the cabinet? And you know, the cabinet is supposed to be a face of the country. So those are some of the things that Uhuru basically was trying to look at. What can we do better?
Yes.
What can we do? Politics aside, what can we do better to make Kenya better? And one of the things that I remember one day Uhuru went to, I think it was Lenana school, and say the only thing that he wants to this country is that after 5 years, he wants to leave a very cohesive and a united country. That is the only legacy that Uhuru basically was asking for, to leave a cohesive and a very united country, free from tribalism.
Yes, we have somebody who is trying to join us here, Odongo. Odongo, can you try to switch on your camera? It is showing you are already in the studio, but your device not connected. Try to check your device. Then after that, you try again. Go try to check your device. I can see you on the screen, but I can't see your video. So I may not add you in the studio. So I'm gonna kick you, then you come back again. So BBI, you have said it was a building bridges initiative, but there are those people who were of the view that instead of the building bridges, it was breaking bridges, because you can see the gap between the president and his deputy kept on widening as they continued campaigning for the BBI. As you said before, that BBI was a good document, but the process and the procedures they were using to campaign for it was not the right one. I myself am of the view that they were supposed to try and engage and involve also the deputy president. If it is building the bridges, there is no way, and that is what many people were saying, you cannot build the bridge with Baba and then break the bridge that you had built with William Ruto. Not forgetting that William Ruto is not just an individual. Behind William Ruto, there are supporters of William Ruto, and they also want to feel part and parcel of what was going on. And somebody is saying, exactly, that is it. So what do you think? Don't you think they were supposed to try their level best before even they proceed to ensure that Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, Raila Odinga, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Moses Wetangula, all of them, all those top leaders are in agreement, so that we can say, surely these people, these guys are building the bridge. But in the process of building bridges, they broke the bridges. Like now the president was left almost alone with Jubilee through the process of building the bridges. What do you think went wrong?
Thank you for that question. Now, first, you remember now the difference in terms of politics was between the opposition leader and Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
They did an handshake. So later on, I think Kenya forget very quickly, there was a prayer meeting, which I think William Ruto was there and all the other NASA coalitions partners were also there. So Ruto shook the hand for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and even they went ahead and said that tumesameana. But the problem, I don't know what kind of handshake Mr. Ruto wanted, because did he want that handshake to come now from Sugoi, now Baba to go to Sugoi and say now tuko na handshake hapa mimi na Ruto?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't understand, because the second handshake between Ruto and the opposition leader was at the prayer meeting, and in fact it was just on the presence of our religious leaders. So I don't understand what kind of handshake that Ruto wanted. But the problem with our deputy, the deputy has never supported any document that is supposed that is supposed to benefit the Kenyans. You can remember in 2010,
yes,
he was on the Ndizi side. He was not a pro that constitution. He was anti. So you understand where Ruto is coming from.
If I try to defend the deputy president, before the 2010 constitution went through, he was saying there are those things that are not right in this constitution, 2010 constitution. Why can't we go back to the boardroom, rectify those things before we pass it? Instead of passing it, then we will have another costly process. We begin another process to amend what is wrong, and we already know what is wrong. Like the issue of resource sharing, that was supposed to be solved, because that is outright. Everybody can see it is not fair for people who have no population to receive more money, almost 3 times more than those with higher population. I agree with you totally that there are people who are getting $80,000 in terms of bursary, whereas in central Kenya, the much the members of parliament can give is like 3,000 or 2,000 for the students to go to school. Those are some of the problems that the deputy president was saying. Can we, before we pass this thing, go back to the boardroom, iron out all these issues that are causing problems before we pass it? But the other team said, no, it has to be passed the way it is. Katiba ni sasa, kama sio sasa, ni sasa hivi. I believe in dialogue until people come into a certain level of agreement. So it is buried from 2010 up to now. It's like 10 years. And now we are going back to spend billions of money. You know, the process of referendum, it costs billions of money. Why should we lose all these billions? Yet we had a chance of amending these things before we promulgated the constitution. That's just my defense to the deputy president. And I think he was genuine. And even now he is saying, now, before we start amending the constitution, can we first of all implement the already existing constitution? Why should we now start changing all these things? Yet the things that are already there, we have not implemented them. We implement. After implementing, then we shall know what is working for us. Then after that, we can now decide what to change. Because even if we change now, yet we have not implemented the constitution fully, we shall still go back and say there are still some things that we need to change, to amend within no time. Yes, sir.
Thank you for that. Now, you have to understand, I'll just take you back. The 2010 constitution was not 100% document. So Ruto still with the same narrative said, now we need now to first amend this before we pass it.
Yes.
Now, coming to the BBI, Ruto was given an okay to nominate some of the members who can sit and chair the BBI document.
Yes.
So he was given that opportunity. And these members were moving to all the counties in Kenya to take people's view.
Yes.
Now, as per Ruto, it was, as per the BBI, it was only 10% on the document, which was not right. But if you look at the whole now, holistically, now yes, 90% of what was contained on the document basically was through the benefit of Mwananchi.
Yes.
But because our leaders like playing politics, Now they decided and say now, why don't we? They started now doing what you call cheap politics, because he knows now the Mwananchi down here is not informed adequately. But I can also blame the government, because the government did not invest in resources whereby the BBI education was supposed, basically the Mwananchi was supposed to be educated intensively for them to understand the document. So I think Ruto took an opportunity, because he saw a loophole and started mentioning some of just tiny problem which could have been fixed even in the parliament. Because if you look at the document, 90% of the document was okay, but Ruto was just choosing this one, that this one we need to make this document 100% for it to be passed. And I don't think it was Ruto was doing a disservice to Mwananchi. That is my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good opinion. But also, if I may remember, there was that draft which was first discussed, and I remember everybody had said we are okay with it. The first draft constitution, or the constitutional amendment that they made, everybody said it's okay. Bring it, we pass it, we go on. Then they took it back to the committee, and the committee changed almost everything. And people said, no, these guys are not genuine. If you remember, there was a time there was a meeting of the leaders, and remember the time when Musalia Mudavadi gave a very good speech. That time when there was a confrontation between these I don't remember he's called who, Muhammad and Junet Muhammad. You remember that time? After that, leaders had accepted the draft which was there. They said, bring it, we pass it, we go on. Then it was taken back. Then they came up with another one, and people said, no, these people are not genuine. But before you talk, we have Beatrice. Beatrice, can you hear us clearly?
Yes, I can now hear you.
Can you make?
I can hear you.
For gender equality and sensitivity, can you make your contribution?
Oh no, my dear. I think I'll first keep listening. I've really been struggling to join the conversation, and I was trying to do some research on what does BBI mean, and yes. For now, I really don't have much of the contribution. I would rather listen to you, and probably later on I'll have a contribution. Thank you.
But if I may ask you to a larger extent or to a lesser extent, do you think BBI was a good thing to the Republic of Kenya?
Yes, because when I look at the intentions of the BBI, the good intentions of the BBI, the good intentions, to a larger extent, yes, I would really say it was going to be a good thing for Kenya. Okay, aside from now the inside of BBI, but like looking at the document, looking at its aims and looking at its objective, I think it was one of the ways for Kenya to go forward.
Yeah, yes. And what do you think went wrong? What do you think went wrong and this thing was stopped?
There could have been something internal. Could have been some internal challenges that me as Beatrice may not really be so much conversant with, because I've really not read a lot about the BBI, like trying to understand the inside of BBI, but just like reading its objectives, it is, I would really say it was a good move. However, the fact that maybe it didn't move on, there could have been those internal challenges that I may really want to understand very well. Yes.
So you think, do you think the court was fair by stopping the process?
I don't think it was really fair. By stopping the process, unless they have the the reasons for stopping it. Probably they have the good reasons for stopping it. And I really feel it was unfair for them to stop it, because I don't know the reasons as to why they should have stopped it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Is it clear?
So back to you, Kevin. Kevin, can you answer that question there? You can read it and answer. Try to expound on what is 1 man, 1 shilling. What is that? There are people who want to know.
1 man, 1 shilling. This one was basically a policy that was put on BBI just to allocate resources fairly from the central government. Meaning, counties the country with more population what receive more resources for their population, not based on the geographical size. Because basically, if you are looking to take care of Mamamboga, borders, you also need to look at where is the population huge. Because anytime that you're coming up with a document, you're not coming up with a document to take care of a geographical area, but to take care of Mwananchi. The document was to take care of Mwananchi, and basically it was allocating resources as per the population, not as per the geographical size. So that is basically 1 man, 1 shilling.
Wow, that's a very good answer. I hope Aris, Jerry, your question has been answered. I also want to go through the questions that we have here and the comments. And we have there, BBI was to add Muzigo instead of Punguza Muzigo, and we as Kenyans are the ones who struggle. That is Kinjo something. Kinjo Kanjoro, and we also have Aris again saying they would had supported Punguza Mzigo, but because it was not favoring them, they could not. I want to come to you, Beatrice. Beatrice, do you think the BBI was going to help Kenyans earn more resources, or it was adding more burdens to the common Mwananchi?
Thank you very much for that question.
And before you answer, I would like you to answer that before you proceed, Beatrice. I would like you to answer that basing on the fact that BBI was going to add more women in parliament, who are going to be most of them nominated by the political parties. It was going to add more members of parliament, and those members of parliament, they have their staff who work for them and all that. And people are saying we wanted something that would reduce the burden that we as Kenyans are carrying on our shoulders. Actually, there was a time they were proposing to do away with the Senate, because they were saying Senate and Parliament, we as a small nation, we don't need the 2 chambers. We just need 1. They were proposing that we should do away with the Senate and just remain with the Parliament, and also reduce those members of Parliament and reduce the county governments. What is your take on that? Yes,
absolutely. If it was like to increase personnel, that was going to be a burden to the Kenyans. That one, we see it everywhere. We see it in Uganda. Each time you increase, you're looking at affirmative action. Yes, it's a good thing that you have more women, you have all this, but then the burden comes back down to the ordinary person. So it would be a burden. In summary, it would be a big burden.
So don't you think that Kenyans in our political elites, don't you think we have people who are intellectual, or who have the intellectual capacity to give Kenyans what they deserve, and basing on the population of Kenya and the resource capability, the economic capability? Because if Kenyans are saying this burden is too much, and instead of reducing the burden, they are adding the burden. Don't you think if today you are the one,
I'm losing you.
If today I am put on the boardroom together with you and Kevin, do you think you would come up with the same thing, or we can come up with something better? Kevin, you can go ahead.
Jeff, I want to pose the question to you.
Yes.
I want you to answer that question with another question. In that, do you think it's fair when government is allocating resources, also factors in Mama Mboga, also factors in the border borders guy? Do you think allocating more resources to the county is basically kuongeza mzigo kwa punda? Do you think it is fair when the resources are only the resources only remain with the central government? Remember, I've told you most of the resources, we are not going to like add more burden to Kenyans, but we are saying the 75% revenue that is collected, 100% that is collected, 75% remain with the government, central government. Now we were saying on that 75, why don't we give on that 75? We give like 35% more to the county. Do you think that one was kuongeza punda mzigo?
No, that was a good thing. That was totally, and everybody was agreeing that and saying this is a good thing. But also, though I am not a lawyer, I have just done some labor laws. But also remember, there are the legal Puritans who are saying that it is not a must. You put this in the Constitution that the issue of revenue sharing can be discussed in Parliament and be passed through the Act of Parliament. So for me, I agree with you totally. Putting in the Constitution that 5% is okay and it helps the Kenyans. But adding all these positions and all these members of Parliament, that is where the Kenyans were saying, no, this is not what we want. And also there are others who said, okay, in Kenya we have how many tribes? We are more than 43 tribes. If only you expand the executive positions to be in a position to accommodate 5 positions, maybe we have the president, the deputy president, prime minister, and the 2 deputy prime ministers. Those are 5 positions. So the large tribes, yes, will occupy the top. What about the other small tribes? I think those are the issues that we are bringing some contention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allow me to answer you. So BBI was not going to create position for any top leaders. So basically, the leadership could have remained the same. But under the BBI, we are going to do away with the women rep. So the prime minister and the deputy prime minister, this could have just been like the leader of majority. We have the leader of majority and the leader of minority. So those one.
Yeah, your system has hand. We have an Aris Jerry there. Aris Jerry is saying that revenue sharing needed not to come through constitutional amendment, but it could have been done in Parliament. I don't know how many people think that this issue of giving that 5% of revenue to the county governments, I don't know how many people think that the only way to do that was through the constitutional amendment. I would like to hear your views. You who are watching me, just go on the comment side, put your comment, and we shall discuss it here. And Alice is saying, there was no need of changing the constitution so that we can put the 35% on the constitution. If the government want to do that, they can do that through the Parliament. We also have Alice here who is saying, women had no say in BBI. In fact, they were drawn from Parliament to Senate, where there is no money. Yeah, they are saying that they weakened the Senate. They weakened the Senate, and now they were throwing the women there. So Alice here, who is fighting for women, she is saying that BBI was weakening women, not strengthening women. And she's also saying that nobody understood BBI because there were no copies available for the people to read. I want to hear people's views. Remember, we are only discussing what you are giving us to discuss on this political hot seat here. And also, Kijo Kajoro. And I would like Aris Jerry, if your phone is good, just try to join in and we can have this conversation. Kijo is saying 95% of BBI was to benefit the individuals, but not we as Raya. Only 5% will reach Wajikos. That is according to Kijo Kajoro. Alice Jerry also is saying they would have supported Punguza Mzigo of Ekuru Aukot, but because it was not favoring them, they could not. I am also of the same view that Ekuru Aukot had the Punguza Mzigo bill, which was trying to reduce the burden to the Kenyans. But the big boys, or our topmost leaders, they fought Ekuru so much that his bill could not see the light of the day. Even it could not go through the county assemblies. It was tough for him. And you saw how easy they passed these bills on the county assemblies. And somebody said they bribed the MCAs to do that. I want more people to give us the comments. And my friend Kevin, I'm still waiting for you. Kevin, I'm still waiting for you to come back so that we can proceed and conclude the debate. Yeah, we still have some time to do that. I want to have more comments. Kijo is also saying here, BBI was to add, that one we have read it. Somebody is saying this is a good discussion. That is Aris. Aris and Kijo, I want you on board so that we can have this discussion together. We have Caroline Jerry. BBI was 99%. 99% was personal interest. It was only adding burden to Kenyans. That is the feeling of Caroline Jerry. Yes, let's continue receiving more comments. Like our page, follow our page, subscribe. And I want more people to come on board so that we can have this productive debate, because information is power. Information is power. So I want to hear more. I'm still getting some instruction on the other side of studio. So I want to hear more about the BBI. Was the court fair to stop the process of the BBI? BBI was the evil. This is Mike. Mike is saying that BBI was the evil that could not be allowed to exist. Ken Mike there. This is Ken Mike. Ken Mike is saying BBI was the evil that could not be allowed to exist. I don't know why. I wish, Kevin, you can give us more information, or you come on the screen. Let us talk about this. Try, and the link is there to join. Come tell us why you think that BBI was evil. Yeah, my position was that BBI was a good thing to some extent, but there were some hidden agendas for the leaders that they didn't want the people to know, and that is why it was stopped. So it was going to, it had some sweeteners, but all what Kenyans, and especially those who were not supporting the BBI, they had the feeling that Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to continue with his leadership even after his 10 years had elapsed. And why they had that feeling is because those who were supporting him, or people who were very close to him, like Morathe, they were saying, Uhuru is still young. Where is he going? I want you people to tell me, do you think Uhuru was genuine and he just wanted to help Kenyans? Because if the president was genuine and he just wanted to help Kenyans, and then we failed him, we as the citizens, then we have made a serious blunder. If the president was having our interest at heart through the BBI, and then we disagreed with him and he leaves the office without giving us a good constitution, then we shall suffer for a very long time. So there are people who felt that Uhuru wanted to continue with his leadership. They created the 5 positions. He occupies the office, becomes the prime minister. Then the other things that they had put there, people were saying they are just sweeteners, so that they can use that to cause the people to pass the BBI. Somebody here by the name James Wainaina is saying, yes, it was not fair. It was right to Mwananchi. Yeah, James is saying what the court did was wrong. James, I wish you can come here on the screen and tell us why you think the BBI was good. And James is saying the BBI was a good thing and it was going to benefit the Mwananchi. I don't know how many people are of the same view. So the BBI was a good thing and it was going to benefit the Mwananchi. So Kevin, what happened? You were doing a good job here. Kevin, we are still waiting for you to come so that we can proceed. Kevin, so that we can proceed. On the other side of the group, let me see. Put down your comments there. I will read your comments here on the screen, and we shall proceed very well. We want to know what is your feeling about BBI. Do you want BBI to come back? Do you want Lege to continue, or you want Lege to continue resting in peace? Do you want us to bring the BBI back? Because it's like they are planning to bring the BBI through the parliament. Is it a good thing, or what do you think? What do you think? Should we continue with the BBI? Should we continue with the BBI? We want to know. Put down your comment there. I just want to read your comments. I want to read your comments, and so that we can proceed. And there are those who think that BBI was evil, like Kevin. Kevin said, not Kevin, but Ken said that it was not going to exist, or it was not going to be around in Kenya because BBI was an evil thing. And that was also the take of the deputy president. Deputy president was saying that the BBI was one of the catastrophe that was going to befall the nation of Kenya. That is what Alice is saying, that BBI should be allowed to continue resting in peace. I want to know your views. Put your comment down there. Put your comment, and we are going to put your comment on the screen. Alice, why don't you join me on the screen? Come, let us talk. Kuja hapa tuongee hii maneno. Hii maneno ya siasa ninaona wewe unawezana nayo kabisa. Mimi nataka ukuje hapa. Utuambie kwa nini unafikiria hii BBI ambayo ilikuwa inaleta 35% on the counties. Kwa nini iendelee kupumzika? Kwa nini? Alice, mimi ninataka ujaribu uone. Nataka ukuje hapa tuongee. And Alice is also saying we stop provoking the BBI spirit. It should continue resting in peace. So Alice, mimi nataka ukuje hapa tuongee, utetee your position. Tuambie ya kwamba that BBI is supposed to continue resting in peace. Lakini mimi pia ninaonelea, I am also of the view that there are those good things in the BBI that should be picked, like the revenue sharing, and be passed in parliament. There are those things. Beatrice is back. Yeah. So Beatrice, this is what I'm saying. There are those good things in the BBI, the equitable sharing, that is supposed that those things are supposed to be picked and be passed in parliament, so that we don't lose everything. What do you think? And Beatrice, you didn't tell us where you are.
Oh, I'm in Uganda.
Yes.
My name is Beatrice. Yes. I was in Makerere for my master's degree. I did master's in education, but I mastered in English language studies and literature. That was 2015.
Your English is good, I can tell.
Yeah, 2015. Yeah, so currently I'm in Teso region. That's why my network is really not so good. Yeah, but I really love the show. Like, I'm trying to understand. I'm not really a politician, but being a student of literature, I read a lot of.
I understand the Makerere people. The Makerere people with politics, they are very close. Even those who are not politicians, they understand politics.
True. So, like, I've really been reading about the BBI, and really, when I read about the BBI, because I'm not Kenyan, I'm Ugandan. When I read about the BBI, like when I looked at the objective of the BBI, I was saying, finally, this is what it is. Having seen the events in Kenya, like when it comes to elections, the violence, all that comes around. And I was like, finally, I think Kenyans will be moving the same way. However, now this show opens, it's an opportunity.
Yes. So your phone is hanging, Beatrice, but I want us to
some of the gaps.
So Beatrice, when you come back, you still tell us, because Uganda also has over 30-something tribes, but you don't normally experience tribal clashes.
Lost opportunities.
Well, Beatrice,
the BBI.
Beatrice really want to contribute, but her phone is giving her a hard time. But when she comes, we shall be asking Beatrice, because she's from Uganda. She'll be telling us how comes that for us, when it comes to elections, sometimes we have these crashes. But for them, they don't. Yet they have almost the same number of tribes as Kenya. I don't understand. Is it because the president on the other side is so hard? Or is it because they have something that we don't have, or they know something that we don't know? So she'll be telling us if she comes back. So I miss the presence of Kevin. Kevin, I wish, Kevin, if you can hear me. I don't know what happened. You come back, because there are things that we need to iron out. And then everything will be okay. So thank you so much, those who are following. Put down not just a comment, not just a like, but I would like you to write something down there. Don't just like, put a comment down there so that I am able to see your name. Whenever you write a comment, I am able to see your name, and your comment will also appear on the screen. So Beatrice was there. She came to support the topic because we were in the same school, in the same campus. Thank you so much, Alice Jerry, for being very active, very, very active. Thank you so much, James Wainaina, for being very active in today's debate. And Ken Mike, thank you so much, Ken. Tell the people, invite people to come before we end the debate, because shortly we are going to end the debate. Shortly we are going to end the debate. Shortly we are going to end the debate. Invite somebody so that we can continue. Let me communicate with my team on the other side, because there is another show which is coming. So I'm still making some communications here and there. Yes, so our topic today and what we are asking people is that was the court fair by stopping the BBI process? Was the court fair? Do you think they did the right thing, or do you think they made a mistake against the nation of Kenya? Was good BBI good for you, or do you think it was a bad thing? To what extent was BBI going to benefit the common mwananchi in the Republic of Kenya? It doesn't matter any part you are in of the world. Right now we had Beatrice from Uganda, and I have seen that the Ugandans, they follow our politics. I also follow the politics of Uganda and Tanzania. We are East Africans. So feel free, wherever you are, any part of the world, so long as you understand the politics of Kenya, the BBI process, come, we discuss. I like people who are informed, because information is power. Information is power. Don't be deceived. It is good to be informed. Many people are in darkness. Many people don't follow what is happening in their country. They hear BBI, but they don't know. If you ask them, what does BBI mean? They can't tell. So it is very good to be informed. It is very good to listen to other people. It is very good to engage in such a discussion like the one we are having here. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, those who are following. Continue putting down the comments. I am waiting for your comments here so that I can read them. Eriza. Thank you for supporting me. So, Eriza is following all the way from Canada. Eriza, today we have an open debate. You can come on the screen Let us discuss about this thing. Why did Kenyan decide to fail the president like that? Eliza, okatwaranerie. Come and tell us what you think. I want to hear the views of the diaspora people, the people in the diaspora. Was the BBI going to benefit Kenyans? Let us inform people. For information is power. Information is power. Information is power. Eliza, thank you so much. Eliza is following all the way from Canada. So because we are in the TV, we shall be mixing everything here, so long as we don't go out. Yeah, Aris is saying they did the right thing to Wajiko. Alice, I want you to come on the screen, please. Alice, Alice, you must be a politician. I really want to see you. I really want to see you. The way you are hammering the BBI supporters, I want to know. I want you to come here, we discuss. Nataka ukuje hapa tukaweze kuongea. Eliza pia, Eliza nimekumiss sana. Najua sana huwa tunakutana wakati wa mahubiri, lakini leo tunaweza kutana wakati wa siasa kidogo. Tukaweze kuongea mambo ya BBI. Hii BBI ilikuwa nini? Hii BBI ilikuwa inasaidia watu ama ilikuwa tu ni kitu ya Uhuru na Raila Odinga na wale watu politicians wakubwa? Hivyo ndivyo tunavyotaka kujua. The link is there. Find me in the studio. Na mimi siogopi swali lolote. You can ask any question. So long as you do it respectfully, use the right language, we shall have that discussion. So on the other side, on the studio, ninajua kuna watu wanajiandaa. After some time tutakuwa na watu kutoka upande wa Saudi Arabia. Tutakuwa na watu wa Saudi Arabia, tutakuwa hapa kwa screen tukiongea mambo ya Mungu na tukiwaombea. Mnajua there are so many things that are happening, especially kwa watu ambao wanaenda kufanya kazi hizo nchi za Waarabu, wengine hawarudi. Tunataka kujua what has been happening and if they encourage people to go there and how people are supposed to conduct themselves kuenda hizo nchi za nje. Ni nchi gani we should avoid or what things should you avoid doing so that you go and come back to Kenya when you are still alive. I was reading another article yesterday morning, and I saw that 89 people last year, 2020, they died in Saudi Arabia, and they wrote the cause of death as cardiac arrest. All of them, 89 people. We have lost 89 Kenyans in Saudi Arabia. So today I want to engage the people from Saudi Arabia. Saudi were represented. Oh, even Kijo today, after this topic, after the topic we are having, please, Kijo. In the other debate, we shall be talking about Saudi Arabia, and we shall be saying, we want to know what is happening. Why are we losing our people in that country? Mkitaka tuambie watu wasiwe wanaenda huko, mtatuambia. So Kijo, ninataka ukuje hapa tuongee. Masaa hayo mengine, saa hii msiingie saa hii. Masaa hayo mengine tutaingia hapa kwa screen, tutaongea mambo ya Mungu na tutakuwa bado tunawaombea, na msikuwe watu wa kuogopa screen. Msikuwe watu wa kuogopa screen. And Alice anasema I'm a politician by nature. Yes, Alice, you're a politician by nature, I can tell. And we would like to support you become what you desire to become. Even if it is in the coming election, I can tell you we shall use this platform to campaign for you, Alice. So because I see there are no more comments, I am likely to add that debate there. And because we are having, after some few minutes, we are having another debate coming on. So thank you so much. God bless you and God do you good on Sunday, the same time, we shall have people coming to discuss matters, politics. God bless you and God do you good. Bye.